what's going on, guys? My name is Enigma, and the other day I had something very special come back to me, and that was my first ever MMORPG experience. And if you're anything like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You had a game. I had a game, and that was MU Online. For me anyway. If you had a different game, please let me know in the comments down below, like this video, and let's actually get in to this time machine, hop in right in with me, and let's talk about it. Because this is very special. I think it is special for anyone. A time of much simpler times, a time of wet dreams, a time of furry enthusiasm, fantasy, exploration and imagination, and your first ever contract to signing policies like no grass touching. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, seriously guys, MU Online, I revisited the game, I think yesterday it was, or the day before yesterday. I did some recordings and I just wanted to talk about how the game still holds even to this day. Might be my own personal bias, probably is, but let me tell you something. The animations really captured and encompassed what a fantasy RPG really should feel like, in terms of abilities anyway. I mean, they're so good. Just have a look at this. This is probably the best warrior, well in this case Dark Knight, ability for whirlwind, you know exactly what I'm talking about, the spinny thing, you know, in WoW. But look at this! It's amazing. It honestly really holds up in comparison to the games that we have now, the MMORPGs that they're releasing with their shitty, scuffy animations. Like, come on, dude. Look, this is 20 years ago, and it's still clean, you know? I mean, the radius, surely asmongold will appreciate. But enough of that for now. I'm going to be talking about it later and even showing you some gameplay about it when I just hopped into some private server and how exactly you actually download the private server and so on, and what did that even feel like when I was doing it for the first time. But to get there, I really just wanted to express my first ever interaction with a fantasy RPG before I even got to this MMORPG, because there is a distinction. So what started me off was the Warcraft 3 campaign. I didn't even know what I was playing, I just knew I was really hooked. I was about 6 or 7 years old on a microwave-like laptop that barely worked. I had acquired this disc somehow to play this game. It might have been just borrowed and never returned to the rightful owner, but anyhow, Warcraft 3 was in my possession. I booted the game every day from the very first day. It blew me away. It took me to this world that I got to explore, and meeting Morganas for the first time. I was like, damn, what is this? This is so good. But unfortunately this didn't last long, as we lived in somewhat impoverished residential areas, so we used to buy candles a lot. And well, that night my mother put the candle on the discs, unknowingly, to her credit, but as you can imagine, the disc was covered in wax and the game was burnt in. I remember being really upset that I could never play that game again, beat Morganas, so I was forced to touch grass. And that was until Diablo 2 was introduced to me a year later. This was through my stepdad at the time, and it was just like experience Warcraft again, but a much darker and gruesome to my 7-year-old eyes anyway. However, 2 years later, I had to forfeit that and flee the country and move into the UK. When I say flee, I just mean migrate really, but I unfortunately lost the connection with the fantasy RPGs, as I did not remember what game I played. My mother couldn't remember, nobody could remember, and I felt damned. I felt like I would never play this game again. But one day it just struck me. When I was in the UK, I was just lying in bed and I was like, what was that game that I played? What was the name of that game? So I got obsessed. I got so obsessed like Indiana Jones trying to find its treasure. So I searched, and to my failure, I didn't find it. Although before I gave up, I had the lad in my community recommending me another game, and this game was MU Online. I was skeptical at first as I had to download the game through websites that ran the game on private servers, and that was a question mark for me. But the game was free to play, and I was desperate after watching a few YouTube trailers. It blew me away. I was so hyped for it, so the first thing I did is first the top G site and downloaded it through WinRAR, unpacked the files, and then once that's done, I finally downloaded it, booted the game up, and I was truly stunned. It was like a Diablo game, but online with other players, and it has wings. What? So yeah. Looking back at this game, it actually came out 20 years ago, but the impact and ingenuity within the game's abilities still surprise me to this day. I mean, just look at this. I was not thinking about pay to win. I was not thinking about how the game actually works and if things are broken and or anything like that. I was thinking, how can I make my character faster, stronger, and just more badass? And that's exactly what I did. When I first played the game, the character creation consisted of a dark wizard, dark knight, magic gladiator, elf, a brawler, to which I played the dark knight first. And I'll be honest, my experience was a little bit flawed. You know how on private servers, things are, well, modified. And on my server, it was probably the 999X modifier server. And let's just say I was overflown with the experience that I got, because what I got was immediate dopamine from leveling, continuing pressing that number. It was crazy. Like, I was so obsessed with just pressing this plus icon, you know, when you level up and you get this little circle, and oh my god, more points, more points, more points, and more points. Yeah, so wherever I was, the mobs just was in this one specific area, and I would just use one ability and just continuously level up, and you have this reset feature. So basically, if you go back to your server and then there's a character slot there, and then you find your character and you can reset him. So your main attributes, so let's say the cap is level 400. So you reach the max level, you get to reset, so you're able to go from level 0 to level 400 again, but you keep the stats that you've got initially through leveling the first grind from level 0 to 400. I was just like, what? Now I know it's completely imbalanced. It was really bad, but at the time I didn't realize it. I was just enjoying the gameplay. I was just grinding and I could not stop. But anyway, Lorenzo is where everybody started. I mean, if you were a Dark Knight, you started here. If you're a wizard, you would start here. Yeah, so if you're actually an elf, you started in Noria. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to find the server that I used to play on, but I downloaded this randomized server just to show you really, guys, how it was back in the days. The best things were like the legendary armor and the dragon sets. Like, they were the best items and best gear you could get. Obviously, that was probably insane, but it was just fun, you know. It was simple, it was simply fun. And get out here, you go to some dungeons and slay some skeletons, and you just had this amazing time with a lot of things. Besides, it's what really sparked the love that I have for wings. And God knows I love wings, okay? I love wings, and in this game, wings are the best. I wish I could have them in high resolution. I wish I could have it in Warcraft 3, where I have a permanent backpack and that's wings. I have a section, no, fuck that, not a backpack, okay? I have a section for myself and I can upgrade those wings. I can, you know, there's a sense of of an upgrade once you get to a specific level. For example, a dark knight can go into like being a blade knight or whatever, and then he becomes a master knight, or I don't remember the specific terms, but there's this evolution mechanic, which was nice. And here really it's also the noises. Now the sound effects in this game is absolutely terrible. Just have a listen to this. But here's the thing with nostalgia. It's amazing. For me, it's incredible. I mean, sound really is half the nostalgia when it comes to remembering. And I know looking back at it, it's really terrible from, you know, the evolution of sound and ambience. But even just the wind here, it really throws me back to much simpler times. And anyway guys, this was a short video. I just really wanted to go back into that very first game that I played, the very first MMORPG. It's what brought me, it's what sparked me, it's what carries on living inside of me, and probably will continue as Ashes of Creation sometimes comes out and actually can reignite my fire for MMORPGs, because recently it's been sucking ass. But anyway, enough the negative. Thank you guys for watching, and please comment down below your personal experiences. Have you ever played MU Online, or was it the first time you ever heard of this game, and what was your first game? Over and out.